Gonna kill me some flesh raiders. Alright. So you see there's a cave there in an unexplored area, so we need to make our way over there. And there's lots of little winding paths that come out of this Kalikori village. So one of the key things of the night is focus. So you see those yellow bars beneath my health going up when I do certain actions. So I'll need focus to activate certain other abilities, like the Cyclone Slash and the button number 2 there. They just you'll learn how to play your characters, you know, as you go through. There'll be certain abilities that you'll like, then you'll get a good rotation going that you think works well. Yeah, at the moment don't have a lot of abilities, so it's a bit harder to judge your rotations. And you see how he's grey? What that means is that he's been engaged by another player, so doesn't really you know, you could just run past him without anything happening to you. And also you'll see that yellow one, I could attack and then he turned red. So there's you know, things about the groups that you'll the mobs that you'll learn as you go past. Like getting stunned. I hate getting stunned. Someone just invited me to join a group as well, so you can play with your friends if you really wanted to, but don't want to do that at the moment. I just want to, you know, keep going through and do my own thing. So what I'm doing now is I'm just grouping my abilities a bit more. So those ones down the bottom are what they call area of effect. So they'll attack everybody in a certain range. That can be good, and it can also be bad, because if you've got somebody stunned, usually stunned characters will get woken up if you attack them, so just want to be careful with that. I'm also just bringing out a few other abilities from my ability tab. So what these are other abilities I've picked up through, you know, things like legacy unlocks. Yeah, so just seeing what I've got to pull out. You'll see some things say passive. That just means they're going to happen no matter what. But yeah, so there's a few bits and pieces in there. Oh. Yeah. I think for some reason I can't actually use those abilities I just put out. I don't understand why. I thought you could, but I don't think they've ever lit up for me to be able to use them since I started playing. Because I'm up to I finished Act 1 of this game. Well, of this so far. So I'm up to like level 34, I think. 34, 35. So I've done a lot through the game, and I don't think I've actually used those abilities, so don't worry too much about them. Also, you would notice one of the things I just picked up was a satchel of crafting materials. At the moment I can't use them because I haven't got crew skills, but we'll get into crew skills later on and crafting and what you can do with that. So hugging the wall so I don't draw the mob. So you'll learn to do things like that to avoid having to fight, because fighting takes time. If you want to get through, you can just you know, try and avoid them. Oh, another bonus mission, which I've already had one, but you know, the tutorial is going to tell me about bonus missions anyway. So you'll see this is where I can use the area of effect abilities, because it'll attack both of them at once. I actually find the trooper I find like the best for area of effect abilities. I love my trooper for that.
I wish I could see the Flesh Raiders' faces when this stuff blows up on them. Tell me the whole story, and more slowly this time. Right, the old restraining bolt excuse. Admit it, you're just incompetent.
Teach our soldiers how to use these weapons. Train them on the Twi'lek invaders.
When will we strike against the Jedi?
Patience, Caliph. The Jedi will fall when our army reaches full strength.
You can come with me, but I'm not removing anything.
Hey, T7. So, actually, I've already picked up a companion. So, one thing that you can do, so this whole event's the Dark versus Light achievements, but you also get achievements for each of your companions. So, because I've used T7 a lot, you know, the ones I'm going for are killing lots of things. So usually it's kill 100 enemies and then kill 1,000 enemies with a certain companion being active. So you'll... Yeah, so you can see here, this is sort of a macro overview of all the companions. So T7 is one, and then you can do it with your ship droids, but the ship droids aren't all that nice, so generally I don't bother with them. So T7 and Doc I've already done them with on previous walkthroughs, but then there's HK51, which, remember, you need to kill 50 with him to get the achievement for Dark versus Light. And there's also, so there's two sets in this one. There's killing non-player opponents or defeat 1,000 enemies with HK. Nico Oka doesn't have it for some reason, so we'll stick with HK, and so I'm going to do the 1,000 with him first, and also that'll help us get the achievement for Dark versus Light as well, with killing 50. So there's achievements for all sorts of things. I tend not to bother too much with achievements too much. If they're there, I'll get them, but considering the Dark versus Light is all about achievements, so I'm going to be trying to get as much of them as possible. Now, I just use quick travel, so you'll see why that's so handy. So instead of having to run all the way back to Kalakori village, I've just used quick travel and I'm there already, which is brilliant because now I can just walk up here. Oh yeah, sorry, before we go, that's the Revan statue I was talking about earlier. So he's another crew trainer that you can get in the cartel market. So if you really want one, you can get them. If not, maybe you can have a look on the trade network.
She died in my arms. You should have seen what those filth did to her.
I'm sorry, Sailor. We all share your loss.
For every one of us the Flesh Raiders butcher, we should kill 10. No, 100!
That restore your loved one to life?
Don't lecture me, Jedi. My wife is dead. Our people slaughtered. Where were you then?
I sabotaged the Flesh Raiders' weapons. They'll pay for what they've done.
Sabotage? It's not enough. There will never be enough. The Flesh Raiders won't stop until we're all dead. Are you going to let that happen?
If you're dumb enough to pick fights with Jedi, maybe you don't deserve to survive.
I knew you weren't here to help. We'll just have to take justice for ourselves.
Emotions are running high enough. All you did was stir things up. People wonder why Jedi are forbidden to marry or have families. They don't see how attachments always lead to suffering. Passionate emotions can destroy a person, and Jedi destroyed by passion become something terrible.
This thing's been a pain in my neck since the Flesh Raider camp.
One of our long-range probes. I thought we'd lost all of them. While I deal with the droid, talk to Rana. I think our people are ready to help us, thanks to you.
One of our scouts watched from a distance while you invaded the Flesh Raider camp. He said you defeated many of them. Your heroism gives me hope that we'll survive this.
I did as you asked. For information, nothing more.
Of course. And I will honor that bargain.
Scouts report that the Flesh Raider forces are gathering in strength. They already control the mountains around us, and now they're invading the ruins of Kaleth. My men spotted them at the remains of an ancient shrine, close to your Jedi temple.
Kaleth was a great city of Force users. Its ruins hold powers we still don't understand.
Flesh Raiders are looking for something there.
We can't let them find it. Drive back those Flesh Raiders immediately. I have to take this droid back to the Council. That hooded figure in the holo, I know his voice. The situation is worse than I thought. Do whatever it takes to push the Flesh Raiders out of Kaleth. I'll send you reinforcements as soon as possible.
In case you haven't noticed, I handle things just fine by myself.
Don't get cocky. You're good, but you're still a Padawan. If you see that hooded figure from the holo, do not engage him. Now get going.
Cool. So, yeah, just rearranging some good... Eventually you'll get a cargo hold that you can move a lot of that stuff into, but for now it's got to stay in my inventory. Most people as well will only start off with a few bars, so I've bought the expansion slots so that you can carry more in your inventory. Otherwise it'd be very interesting. I don't think I'd be able to keep all those things in the... I wouldn't be able to accept all the things that are in my mail when I start.
Reminder, mechanized travel is for official business only.
Ooh, onto another area of Tython, I think it was called now. I'm sure we'll find out soon anyway. So, another quick travel point, you can discover them while you're on your speeders. I'm trying to remember, can't for the life of me remember what that place is bloody called. Selling junk I don't need and repairing gear. Remember, repairing gear, very important. It's gonna kill me. As soon as I see it, I'm gonna do a face palm. Kaleth, that's it. Now lots of droids, ancient droids. They tend to last a long time. So, companions as well, they have this thing called influence. So what influence does is it makes them stronger for you, it makes them better at crafting things and crew skills, so you'll, you know, once again that sort of stuff will come in later on down the track. And you'll also have their abilities as well. So you see HK's not doing anything for some reason, so I needed to press the red button on his companion bar just to activate him and make sure he was fighting. But influence can be raised for companions through things like companion gifts. It can also be raised by conversation. So so if you do something a companion likes in conversation, then it will give you extra influence with them. Influence used to be called affection, so if you're a returning player, yeah, it's all about influence these days, not affection. HK doesn't seem to get much affection from conversation, so you have to really probably use gifts to get his affection up. But most of your main companions, like T7 will end up being a companion.
Step a little closer, you hideous freak.
Time to kill all the things. See, this is where area of effect attacks come in handy. Oh look, a Jedi showed up. Couldn't have shown up till 30 seconds earlier.
Master Orgus sent us. We came as quickly as we could.
One of the Flesh Raiders I just fought called me Jedi. He could use the Force.
That's troubling. If the Flesh Raiders are learning the ways of the Force, it won't be on the side of light.
You sure made short work of this bunch. You ever leave survivors? Fighting the same enemy twice gets boring. Pretty sure that's not in the Jedi Code.
This Flesh Raider carried a holocron, a repository of knowledge created by a Force user. Thousands of years old from the looks of it. Master Orgus was right. These natives are more advanced than we realized. They're learning how to fight us.
This is the best they can do. They're no threat.
This was only a scouting party. I wish we could stay, see this through, but Master SWTOR has ordered us to Coruscant on a special mission.
All those bad feelings the Council's been having? She thinks the Republic capital is the source.
I'm sorry to have to leave you, but the danger is past. These surveillance monitors will keep watch on Caleth, place them around the ruins. The temple can then monitor any future incursions by our enemies.
I have better things to do than wander around these ruins.
Do you? I doubt Master Orgus would agree. The more we know of our enemies' movements, the better. May the Force be with you, Padawan.
Feeling like a spoiled brat Jedi at the moment. Generally that's the way I go when I'm playing characters. It'll be either, you know, all dark or all light. Interestingly, the non-force wielding characters end up being pretty much neutral. I think I did it that way because I had in my head that at some point they'd be releasing some sort of expansion where you could swap sides, so Jedi could become Sith and Sith could become Jedi. I really hope they might do that, but with Knights of the Fallen Empire, I don't think that's ever going to happen now. It was a shame because they started off with 8 different class stories, which was great. 8 different stories for you to experience, and then with the Rise of the Hutt Cartel 1, they brought it down to 2 stories, an Imperial or Republic one, and then Shadow of Revan was just 1, and ever since then it's been 1. So it's a little disappointing. I mean, I can understand from a logistical standpoint because it'll take a lot to do you know, 8 different stories all the time, but yeah. But yeah, still disappointing. So what we're doing now is we're planting some sensors so we can monitor flesh raiders and make sure they don't do anything stupid, which of course they will keep doing stupid things because they're flesh raiders. So sometimes you can be beaten to certain objects. You may have to wait for them to respawn, or you might have to find another one. It's alright. Hazard of playing an MMO. Sometimes you'll find that people will steal your objective pretty much. Not a nice thing to do. I mean, hey, I've done it myself, but I prefer not to. Sometimes you have to do a bit of searching. Like if I was paying attention, I would have seen the little dots on top of the roof there for me to go and put those devices on, but I missed it. I saw the security chest instead, so I went for that. So now, I have to look around and try and find where it is, because it's an area objective rather than this is where it is objective, which is what the triangle usually is. So, can't see it. Basically right on top of it. And eventually I work out it's going to be up that little incline where the other people are, which also helps if it's one area where lots of people around help, because you can just check where they are. Yeah. Also, some things won't work if you're in combat, so you can see the little state indicator there. Now they're all dead, so it's just gone to watch.
I'm here, Master. What is it?
I'm on my way back to the Twi'lek settlement. Meet me there as soon as you can.
I've been surviving the ruins of Kaleth. Thanks for asking.
If I didn't think you could handle it, I wouldn't have sent you there. Find me at the Matriarch's compound. Orgus out.